And that brings us on very neatly back to you, Omar, and the situation in Pakistan in particular. I think we have some things that we can pick up again on that. Strong growth in broadband clearly. But first question: I know you have 5G plans. Are these coming at the right time for the telecoms market in Pakistan, or are you pushing ahead too early for them in government?
Thank you, Ross, for giving the opportunity. For Pakistan, yes, we are looking into the complete 5G ecosystem. It's not only the technology inclusion we are talking at the moment. Before we jump into the spectrum release strategy and what we're going to do with the spectrum, either it's a scarce resource, when it has to be released, this is a study that needs to be analyzed first. We were looking into an overall 165 plus networks all over the world that has been launched till of today in 65 plus different countries. What exactly happened to the 5G technology? We have certain, analysis. For example, what initially caused the 5G launch. Multiple operators they have launched that. Initially, they were in a bit of limbo in terms of ROI. That we have analyzed. Then we have analyzed what and why caused the enterprise and the autonomous business model for the 5G more successful, including the lighthouse networks. It's in high adoptability at the moment. Then we are looking into the B2C segment. Why there's a bit of reluctancy on the B2C segment. Either it's because of the device or because of the telco infrastructure, especially the 5G equipment. Then we are looking into certain other elements like why operators, CMOs, telcos are reluctant in terms of ROI for the 5G telecom infrastructure investment. This is also very important for us to understand. There are certain other things which needs to be analyzed, like what exactly are the business cases best suited for Pakistan in terms of our environment and the ecosystem, both B2B and B2C. We talk about the enterprise, which is a bit successful. Why B2C? There's a reluctancy for investment on that segment as well. As you rightly mentioned earlier, like the FWA and the air fiber, that's quite successful everywhere, including in Pakistan, having a dense urban environment. Even if you talk about the rural environment, that makes a good business case for 5G as well. In Pakistan, we have a penetration of fiber that most of the telcos and CMOs considered as a showstopper, approximately more than 8% of the sites are being connected to the optic fiber directly. But if we compare with the rest of the world, like let's say the European market over there, we don't see 70% of the telcos or CMOs over there are connected directly to the fiber, greater than 20%. So we have these challenges, yes. We have, the spectrum challenges. But the important segment is once we look into the complete ecosystem, the device manufacturing part, like recently, PTA has issued more than 26 licenses for 4G, 5G interoperable devices. Now we have a production of approximately 13 million plus devices over here in Pakistan. So our exports are getting up, imports are half. So within 10 months, this is the big deviation which we can see in terms of interoperable devices. Now, coming back to the question, it was very important to discuss the background first, so at least we can lead towards certain conclusion of the spectrum release. Specifically, I'm talking about in Pakistan. Recently, we conducted an auction, so we have exhausted, the 4G spectrum. Now our way towards 5G is a bit clear. For 5G, what we look from the policy angle and from the dimensions which I have mentioned earlier, the verticals I'm referring over here, like Pakistan should and in the direction to launch 5G, considering the per capita income, considering the ARPUs, considering the investments of the telcos and the CMOs, Pakistan will go into the interoperable band approach, which is 2.3 and 2.6. We not going to straight away jump to 3.5 with a standalone approach or a greenfield network straight away. because we have to see all these parameters which I have discussed earlier together. So considering all these factors, it will be a blended hybrid approach for 5G network launch. It's going to be a hotspot partial phase by phase launch with a phase by phase spectrum release, considering the device availability which we have at the moment and we started to manufacture all over the Pakistan, and considering the investments of the CMOs, like why they're reluctant. Once we solve all these matrices together, yes, then we are in a position.
I think we may have just lost Omar there. My apologies. We'll see if he comes back in a moment. I think his connection's just frozen. So we're just starting to run out of time. So perhaps I would just ask a really short concluding question, and I'll ask that to all people and to Omar as well if he comes back to join us. So in an environment where we're trying to create a stable investment environment for 5G, what do you think is the most single biggest issue that